I thought I'd take a ride. With a couple days to myself and the urge to wander, I packed a bike and headed out, hoping to connect once again with my inner free spirit. Sometimes you just have to get lost in Rome with no destination in mind. Just be in the moment, in sensation. For me, there's no better way to feel that freedom than on two wheels. So far, this ride has taken me north and then a little west from where the sun is. And after running through the full tank I had headed out with, this ride has me up in the beautiful state of Vermont. With stunning landscapes and roads that twist for miles. I couldn't ask for a better ride. Countrysides, farmland, and small town heritage that you can feel while passing through. I can tell already that this is going to be one sweet ride. The air feels so clean here, and I can tell that my heritage is enjoying every breath as I get sense it purring the entire trip. I decided after a full day's ride to stretch the legs and set up camp where I can get a fire going and settle down for the night. And I have to thank Estelle, Lena, and Mark for having me in such a gorgeous location by the water. I couldn't have found a more beautiful location to end the day after such a fulfilling time in the road earlier. Lake Bomoseen is the largest lake that lies entirely within Vermont's state borders. Covering over 3.5 miles, it's almost 9 miles long and has a maximum depth of 65 feet. And if you ask me, it's just a beautiful place to be, especially at sunset. In the morning, I got up with the sun, and after some strong campfire coffee, was back in the wind. There's just something about riding a motorcycle that's unexplainable. If you ride, you get it. All of the senses are awakened while being present, here and now. The sights, which sometimes can make you feel like you're in a living art gallery, and you realize at that moment why someone had invented the word awe. The smells of wildflowers, pine, something baking somewhere close, and oh yeah, leather. There's the sound of the wind, the hawks that relay me along, and of course, the sound of my 114 Milwaukee 8. This morning I'm dropping my kickstand at a place that the locals insisted I stop. Apparently it's been around since 1770. Been in generations of family members. Publications such as the New York Times, Yankee Magazine, New England Magazine. It's a destination for horticultural, produce, and fruit lovers all over New England. Here we are at Walker Family Farm. With over 100 acres of certified organic farmland to wander through, you're sure to find something to inspire an appetite here. As for me, I thank the locals for pointing me in this direction, especially after working up such a hunger on this morning's ride. So I think I'll take a walk and see what I can find for some lunch. Happy Sunday. So this morning I dropped my kickstand down in a town called Hubbardton, Vermont. Hubbardton is the location of the Hubbardton battlefield. In the early morning of July 7, 1777, this became the site of a little-known Revolutionary War battle. One that was fought entirely on land that would later become what is now known as the state of Vermont. It was on this very ridge that the line between tyranny and the freedom of independence was drawn. Where the approximately 850 British and 180 German forces would pursue and eventually meet up with around 1,200 American soldiers and residents from Vermont, Massachusetts, and New Hampshire. It was here that Vermont's famed Green Mountain Boys gained notoriety. And after only a few hours of intense fighting, the rear guard had stopped the British advance, allowing the main American army to regroup later in Saratoga. Today, there's an abundance of growth, with the wildflowers and trees that whisper of forgiveness. Bruce, the caretaker, encouraged me to dig a little deeper into this place and pointed me in the direction of Frog Hollow Road, which was just down the hill and right at the fork. This is the final resting place for many of those who've sacrificed everything on that day for independence and the birth of a new nation. Having lost their lives just over the ridge beyond the bramble in the thick of the woods, they rest here with the honor and gratitude of a thankful new nation. I spent some time here absorbing just what had taken place and the magnitude of it all. And I gave thanks the best I knew how. There are tons of scenic byways to ride up here in Vermont. There's the Molly Stark, the Mad River, and of course, the Green Mountain Byways, just to name a few. There's even the Robert Frost Scenic Byway, which is named after the famous poet who penned many of his great works in a small cabin right here in Vermont. Two roads diverged in the Yellow Wood, and sorry I could not travel both. And be one traveler long I stood, and looked down one as far I could, to where I bent in the undergrowth. After riding most of the afternoon, I found myself in one of the most beautiful places I'd ever been. And if you ask me what I thought heaven looked like, it most definitely would look a lot like this. Grande Isle is the largest island in Vermont's Lake Champlain. And I can't thank Emma and John Claude enough for allowing me to stay right on the bluffs above the water. The sound of the waves and the breeze made for a peaceful night's sleep. Just like being near the sea, only without the smell of low tide. So, like most cool things that must come to an end, this ride was no different. But I was determined to squeeze every mile I could out of it before heading back, and so I took the long way home. Just down the road from my camp is the Lake Champlain Ferry, which for $7 will have you across in 12 minutes. On the other side is Plattsburgh, New York. But that's for another video. I really enjoyed my ride through Vermont. The scenery, the natural surroundings, riding through covered bridges, the hospitality of the locals, and the trees. I will surely be back around this way soon. When I arrived here at first, I was greeted with a bienvenue. And I didn't have to Google that to know what it meant. I could feel it. Thanks, Vermont.